about last night? What did you do after work last night?
Girls gone to bed, making me tea, sat in the kitchen, and you know, we've started using Shobi with my top 2 guided reading groups that I was telling you about. Well, they've done a couple of response tasks to the text that we've been reading, so instead of having to take books and books and books home, took me iPad into the kitchen. One side of the kitchen, there's me on my iPad. Other side of the kitchen, I'm frying away my chicken. Mark Carvel's work, really, really good piece of guided reading response work. Fantastic character description. So left him a couple of comments on Shobi. Went back, checked my chicken.
Check the chicken.
Came back, can't burn the chicken. Came back, checked DeMonte's piece of work, and again, now she'd made a couple of errors, and she still is having a few issues with here and here. So pointed that out to her, left her a little comment. Back to the chicken. And she had, by the time I got back into school, she'd put me a little comment saying, oh, I've gone through and I've checked my here and here, and I think I've got it right now. So not only was I texting her, if you like, while I'm making my chicken, but she's come back to me with a response already. So I love Shobi. It's good.
It's fantastic, yeah. Mine the same. We've had, I think, probably about 6 back and forwards about Macbeth. You know, like literally, like they've wrote an essay. They've set, I mean, I think they just want to write it on the fact that they're typing it in, the fact that they're sending it off to someone just makes it for them feel better, more important. The fact then at 10 o'clock at night I'm kind of writing a note to them and sending it back to them to get in school, it's kind of, it's working really well.
I'm using technology across the curriculum in all different topics in school. It could be used within a maths lesson to support mental maths at the start of a lesson or at the end. I use it in literacy to support their writing, to generate ideas, to share ideas on different apps that we can share it on. The children can write a script and create a video to generate ideas for their writing. So I can use it through different topics. I've helped to build my confidence using it by practicing and using it over and over again. The more experience I've had has allowed me to try new apps, try different ways of using it. Other things that have helped me to build my confidence is other staff in the school, ICT coordinator, different CPD events such as speed learning. We also do a learning lunch where staff share their ideas, which we can then have a go at, have a practice, see if they work for us, see if they have an impact on their learning.
One of the things that's been the biggest impact on my use of technology is seeing how other people have used it and seeing that modelled and how powerful it can be, and things like Twitter and Pinterest, when you can see other people trying things and how well they've worked, and just being able to use that in my context. I feel that my confidence in using technology in teaching is developed through seeing the fruits of it, seeing how the children respond and seeing them moving on in their learning, and that kind of prompts you to be a bit more daring in using it.
The use of digital technology has been quite sort of an interesting journey for me. I started using digital technology in a much sort of stronger way when I started at St Silas, and part of the ways that I've done and it's helped develop me in my teaching and the learning of my children is mainly because we'll have access, every teacher has access to the technology that they need for their class and for themselves, so that you're able to practice sort of in your own time the things that you want to put into practice in your teaching and learning for your teaching. It's been useful for me because I think we've had the removal of the firewall in school, so it means that you're not restricted to any websites or anything that you want to access for the learning of your children. For example, the use of YouTube and things like that, which has made teaching really quick, and you can actually go with the children's ideas and interests, and you can have something there and then that's really, really important for their learning. Which kind of brings me on to one of my next points that I think is interesting, is that it gives us as teachers an opportunity to make things real life, because through the use of iPads and the use of green screen and different technologies like that, we've been able to create real learning opportunities for the children, and they've been able to record these and hence use them to develop their learning. Because every child has access to the technology, nobody's being left behind, so you never start a lesson where there is going to be a child that won't be able to access access what you want them to. And then I think it's really good also because the technology is it's well managed and it's useful, so we don't have any problems really, give or take obviously a few things with like printers and speed of internet and your connection. It's always there and it's always easy to be fixed in case any problems do happen. And I think what I've really enjoyed and what's been like quite a personal thing for me is that there's never been it's never been imposed upon you, and it's just been something that's been brought into your teaching. We've been able to learn about how to use digital media in a really non-threatening way, where through like peer-to-peer kind of sort of impromptu coaching sessions where you've just maybe had a conversation with somebody else in the playground about a useful app or a useful way to use their equipment that you've been able to use in your teaching, but also through things like learning lunches and stuff like that, you've actually had a slightly more formal opportunity to share your ideas and different things that you've done done with your iPads and with your technology that you have. Also through like peer observations and things like that, you're able.
You know, you think back to like the beginning of, well, what was it? When did we get the iPads to begin with? You know, you kind of think of what's happened from getting those iPads, you know, to now.
Well,
It's phenomenal, really, isn't it? You know, blogging, kids blogging, and then answering each other's blogs. Kids sending you work they've done in class, and you marking it at home.
At home, that's
back
it.
Without a book in sight.
Well, that's it for the teacher. You know, rather than having to carry 30 odd books home, for me to be able to carry one iPad, but to be able to carry a day's worth of work and mark it easily, quickly, and have the children that engaged in it, that they want that response and they want to know what their next step is. It's been phenomenal, and the peer feedback that I've got my children to do on the blog, I say I've got them to do, it's not me, it's them. But the engagement, even with peer feedback, the difference between a comment that they might write on a friend's piece of work on a blog and a comment that they might write on a sheet in a book saying, what did my friends think?
Yeah. Or that you might write.
Yeah, but well, exactly, you know, the comments in the book were all neat handwriting. Have you used full stops? Whereas actually I've had some real, you know, real, almost like teacher in-depth comments from child to child on the blog, and they've got loads out of that.
Well, how's that come about though? What's worked for you in terms of that? You know, again, you go back like a year ago. What's made that possible? Do you think for you in St. Silas? What's worked for you in terms of getting all that going?
I think opening up the technology and allowing the children access, not being scared to actually allow the children to have control, because I've looked at quite a lot of other class blogs and a lot of it is very teacher initiated, and mine is in some ways, but I've also let the children take control. They post, they comment, and they will reply to each other's comments, and yes, they have to be moderated, and you know, and I still moderate and edit those posts where it's necessary. But just not being afraid to let them have access to things that, let's face it, they're going to have access to outside of school anyway. So if we're helping them use it responsibly and for a learning purpose, then that for me has been the key. But it's moving away from the initial rollout of iPads for mainly engagement purposes and mainly maths learning games and those kind of things. That's where we all started, I think. That's certainly where I started. But
and yet we've stepped totally away from that now.
Absolutely, and that's been because of, if you like, the input that Julian's had in school. It's also the input that other members of staff have had, things that they might have seen or heard. But just being able to share with staff, you know, things that we've seen or apps that we've heard about, and you know, learning lunches where people come away talking about Blipit and Twitter and blogging and Showbie and all these different ways that we can, you know, use the technology in the classrooms. It's not about pop maths and maths bingo anymore. It's really about, you know, the children having the choice of how they can learn. Yeah, well, that's it. It is. It's a tool for learning rather than just on an engagement level now. And it's become a lot more.
You see, for me, having the likes of Julian around, having the likes of yourself around, or Tanasha, or someone, you know, to kind of go to, because I still feel, for me, I'm at the stage where I can use it, but I need to be shown things in order to use them. Do you know what I mean? So just having someone there who can kind of say, this will work for that, or have you seen this, this is how you use it. And then
Yeah.
that's fine, I'm fine, I can go away and I can use it, but it's, for me it's been nice to have that support base, do you know, just to kind of, and also to kind of motivate you to, you know, otherwise I think it can be too easy to say, oh, yeah, we've got this iPad, which of course
Yeah.
we're lucky to have in the first place, but then it could just sit in your bag, couldn't it? But
Yeah.
to have kind of people saying, try this, this is how it works, this is how you can use it, that's worked really for me as a big sort of motivation for me, and then it means that the kids then are able to use it as the tool that they're learning, you know, so yeah, that's been good.
I think because as a staff we're all at so many different levels, I think that's meant that, you know, nobody's felt under pressure
Yeah.
to be,
Yeah.
you know, Mr. or Mrs. ICT, but nobody's thought, oh, I don't know what to do and I've got nobody to help, because
Yeah.
you know, and it's completely across the board, because some of our, if you like, most into ICT members of staff are LSAs who've been sharing things at learning lunches. We've also got a very you know, a very technology savvy staff in general, and nobody's kind of hiding behind the, oh, I don't do technology because I don't understand it. Everybody's kind of moving along at their own pace, but actually at a really quick pace, because if you, know, if you look at where we've come in such a short space of time and the difference it's made, you know, it's phenomenal.